Hey everybody, it's me, Jake from Jakin.Off. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. This week I'm joined by a very funny comedian and friend of the pod. Give it up for Pat McCarthy, everybody. Let him hear it. Take your hands off the wheel. Clap for Pat. Drive with your knees. You can find Pat on Instagram at Pat McComedy, correct? And Patty Legs on the old TikTok. And as always, follow this podcast at Jakin.Off.Podcast and send anything at all to Jakin.Off.Podcast at gmail.com. This week, Pat joined us and we talked about something quite scary, which is landlords and how they're starting to come together in a way that we are not too fond of around here. We talk about one specific guy and then we sort of work our way to that. I kind of went whole hog on this one dude. I fucking deep throated Troy Kearns, and I took in everything about this guy, and then I showed it to Pat. So, and we had a fun time.
We sure did.
We had some good laughs.
Mm-hmm.
We had some cries, and everything in between. We cut out the cries. Brett cut out the cries. But yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode, everybody.
And we're
enjoy-
Jakin' off every day.
And have a good listen to the episode.
Oh, won't you take off with me? Oh, I know it's your fantasy. Oh, won't you take off with me? Yeah, we're taking off every week.
I can read it if you're not confident enough, Pat.
Cognizant.
Cognizine. Yeah.
Cognizine
Yeah,
are Kiowa. So the Kiowa citicoline.
Yeah, dude. You're about to put this all in you.
And then the bottoms up, boys.
Yeah.
I like how the cap of it is just the cap from like grocery store water bottles.
Yeah, it's clearly been made in a bathtub. and
And Pat, when you're done drinking that, can you give me a flavor? Just give me everything
Yeah.
that's coming to mind.
Okay, I do have
smell
a-
it. Give a little smell.
I do have a wintergreen velo in right now, so it may be altered. I don't know if you're supposed if this is like alcohol and heart medicine if you're not supposed to mix the two, but like
Take a little sniff, dude.
More like toothpaste and orange juice, maybe.
What are you getting there? Did you shake it?
no.
I did.
Oh, you shook it.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
Brett.
Thank you,
Brett
Brett.
pre-shook for you. What a host.
I don't have a very good sniffer, so it's hard to say, but like somebody said, Brett, you just said like toothpaste and orange juice, and that I do.
Yeah.
That's the vibe you're
I,
getting.
I
Yeah.
am getting that vibe immediately at home.
Yeah.
Is it from the Zin, though?
Dude, you're not going to be able to drink the rest of that now.
Oh, what the fuck?
Just chug it. You had to do it as
You
a
just got
shot.
to do it as a shot, dude. You just got to drink the
Just
whole
finish
thing.
it. You got to really finish it.
You
to get
need
the
you-
full
It's
experience.
bad.
Pat, you need to finish your ashwagandha.
He just doesn't want to unlock his magic mind.
All right, dude. Are you ready to feel calm energy?
Dude, my mind feels sharper.
Yeah,
already.
let me ask you something. Have you ever felt a dry heat? It's a lot like a calm energy.
Yeah.
So, what flavors were you getting? How'd you like the mouthfeel wise?
Mouthfeel, dude.
Mouthfeel, it's pretty good. It's like a little. It's like water, you know. It is
is
a bottle
very-
of liquid.
Viscous or non-viscous? Which one is the one that's like
The-
less thick?
The viscosity,
Yeah.
I think, is where I'm drawing a lot of this calm energy from. That I'm feeling
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
I think that's what they were talking about.
it's like the viscosity of like a vegan's cum.
I think that might be the
I would imagine.
the
I don't know exactly what that's
Allegedly.
I think that's the
Allegedly.
that's the
I'm
citrocycline that
alleging
you're talking
that
about
tastes
right
like
there.
a vegan's cum.
The citrocycline is coursing
Yes.
through my veins.
Yeah,
And honestly, can I be real with you guys?
yeah.
I taste the asterisks. I do. It's a subtle.
That's a really good way to put.
I
how it
taste a
tastes,
subtle,
actually.
calm
Yeah.
asterisk.
Yeah.
In every little fucking.
That's a really. I feel like that's probably the most apt way to describe what drinking Magic Mind is like the label does a good job of like letting you know what the fuck is gonna be in there, kind of.
I feel like I want to do the thing like from that Harlan Williams did after he drank the piss in Dumb and Dumber. You know, little physical comedy. Don't put that. Cut that.
I'm gonna keep it in and double it.
Dude. Well,
It
Pat,
expires late October. Okay.
late October of this year.
It just says 10/25. Oh, wait, that's probably just October of. Oh no, 10/26. All right, so October next year.
Dude, the box, remember, said something about August of next year. So, which is it? I feel like they're not paying. It doesn't even
doesn't
matter.
matter.
Dude,
It's just
they're
Yeah,
like-
water.
but did it say was there an asterisk around August?
no, no,
There
it
could have
was
been
like,
asterisks.
dude, they shipped me 15 of those.
Golly.
They sent us
You
15.
just pass it over here.
Oh, thank you. I'm a righty.
Nice. Well, let's
Thank you.
go.
I would have
dude.
hit the camera lens direct on if I tried with my left hand. Oh,
Well, dude, thanks for coming and joining us today, Pat.
Thank you for having me.
I want to ask you, dude. Yeah. Do you have do you own any property? Do you own property at all?
not 1 inch.
Okay, so then you have a landlord, right?
I sure do. It's
And
my
you've probably had
roommate's
other
stepdad.
It's your stepdad.
My roommate's stepdad.
Oh, your roommate's stepdad.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I was about to be like, nice.
Shout out Rick.
Nice. Okay, so probably not with your roommate's stepdad, but I'm sure that you have dealt with like other landlords in the past
Sure.
as well. Like, have you ever had like a bad landlord?
Have you ever had a good landlord?
Well, it sounds like you got Rick, dude. He might not be so bad.
Fucking-
I actually, here's the thing, is I have had a good landlord. I've had a very bad landlord, but I've also had a really good landlord. This guy who, he's somebody's stepdad, I would imagine. His name is Larry.
Gotta be a stepdad.
And I've talked about this with other friends before. Like, sometimes you can just rent a place from like a guy who's like a relatively responsible person. Like, he's not some absentee, like, gone. Like, you have a problem come up and he's like, oh, I actually know how to fix stuff.
Yeah.
Let me come over and fix your heat or whatever.
Sure.
Like, one time in a really bad like ice storm, like snowpocalypse situation, our heat went out at our apartment and he came over within an hour in the middle of like a really bad snowstorm and fixed our heat. It was always like that with this guy. So he was a good landlord. But I've also had like the terrible situations. I don't know if I've talked about it on this podcast specifically, but the bats in my ceiling, I've complained to nearly everyone in my life about this.
Current ceiling?
Nope, the place that I lived at before. We had bats in our ceiling.
Above the Mexican restaurant or before that?
Yeah, above the Mexican restaurant.
Oh. Well, I bet
In,
your cat's had a field day with
KCK.
those fellas.
I have one cat, and none of us liked it. It was, I would go as far to say that, like, at times, it made the conditions deplorable and like because, dude, and this is the thing that I didn't know is that bats are like an endangered species, and so when you find them in your home,
Are they endangered or protected?
one of the two.
Okay.
They're one of the two. I feel like why would they protect them if they're not endangered?
But that's how geese are, you know?
Oh,
Canada
geese are endangered, or
Geese
they're
are
protected?
protected. They're not endangered, but if you kill one, it's a $10,000 fine in the
It
state of
says
Missouri.
many species of bats are either endangered or protected under various laws. So I think it's just over encompassing. Like, hey, you can't
Sure.
fuck with
Yeah,
bats.
Don't fuck with
They're
bats.
covering all the bases.
They're
on the
letting you
bats.
get them in those.
This is a pretty good
Batman
Netflix
movies.
documentary, by the way. Don't fuck with bats. You seen that?
Yeah. They're like, yeah, we got like a few people upset. Yeah,
13-minute documentary.
yeah. It's like the whole documentary is like, turns out bats aren't cats. Bats aren't cats. No, we had bats in between our ceiling and the roof of the building, and when they're in there, you cannot. What you do to get rid of them is called exclusion. Typically, it's like the most cost-effective way.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's like you put up a tube.
I'm just wondering where this is going.
Dude, it's complicated, but we're gonna get there. This all leads to something. These bats are in our ceiling, dude. They're running around. They're scratching around for months and months while we're living there. That's the short of the story.
Wait, so do you have an attic, or is it just like
there's no attic. There's
general
no attic.
ceiling
It's just the
room?
ceiling, and then the roof is like the next thing above
You're
the
a
ceiling.
roof guy, huh?
We live on the top floor of this building. It's a 2-floor building, but we live on the upper floor.
Right. I'm just making
Flat
a
roof.
comment on your pronunciation.
Roof,
Yeah.
roof.
Are you a hoof guy?
Hoof?
Are you a Washington?
I say warsh as like a joke.
Okay.
I say, my grandmother was a warsh.
I like to say torlet as a joke.
Turlet.
Turlet is the best show version of Turlet. Is something from the best show.
Oh. It's a turdlet
I don't know
whenever
what
I
that
use
is.
one.
It's the one of the 2 podcasts I listen to.
Nice, dude. You don't listen to this one?
I listened to it about 3 times, and then I uploaded.
I pay you to listen to this one. Okay, dude. All this to say, I've had shitty landlords in the past. What's your experience with that? You got anything like egregious?
There's currently, and you can, I guess you could bleep out my current landlord's name.
Will do.
Also bleep out my relation to him.
Will do.
We might cut out like you know what I mean? Like we do a decent amount of cutting at the beginning.
Yeah, we're gonna
Sure,
start the show
sure.
like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Currently, there's been this noise that's been going on in the house that I live in.
Perfect start.
There's like a pipe, and there's like an exposed pipe in the basement that I guess water runs through, and it's in the corner of the basement right below where my bedroom is.
Yeah, dude.
And when I say
Hey, you're never gonna believe this. The bat's right above where I slept. That's always how it works, dude.
something happens with this pipe, and the whole house shakes.
That's
Like
crazy,
water runs
dude.
through the pipe, and then the whole house shakes, and it happens at like 6 a.m. or like 3 a.m. It's never like a convenient time.
It's
when
like
I'm not
a
home.
water main. How big is the pipe, dude?
Ceiling to floor.
Ceiling to floor?
Yeah.
But how big around? Like, is it coming out of the ground and going into
It's just a little like 2-inch round pipe. Like
it's a around that size.
it's not like a load bearing pipe.
No.
load-bearing pipe.
Like you couldn't
like
you
yeah,
couldn't,
like a
tie
load
it-
that you would put in the toilet. Like it's going straight from Pat's toilet down into the ground.
You couldn't like tie a dog or a kid to it and like expect it to hold, but like
It's doing the whole house right now.
Yeah. But it shakes the whole house, and it's been happening since like the winter time. And we keep telling our one roommate like we're communicating with the landlord being like, hey, the house is shaking.
Yeah.
And it's this pipe, and then like he won't send someone over, and then weeks will go by, then
Yeah.
someone will eventually come over, and they'll be like, I don't know.
yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Right.
And now the house just shakes, and also like my door fell off.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You just said that so matter of factly.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait,
nothing's-
like the door to your room?
Yeah, like the bottom hinge broke off, so like the top hinge is still there, but like every other time I open my door, like it won't close, and I gotta like kick the door back into like the nail is the hole that like the screw is in the door frame is too wide for the screw,
Right.
so it just slides on out.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And so this is the what this has to do with what we're talking about today is that I started getting I sort of have been I don't know if like the word embedded is the right thing, but I'm sort of constantly being hit at various angles by these various things that my algorithm knows that I'm gonna like click into and like really like take a bite out of. And one of them is like landlord property influencers.
I see these guys.
Have you seen any of this kind of stuff?
I see these guys. Yeah, they're like we're not evil.
Okay.
Come on, guys.
All right. So some of the guy we're going to talk about today, I think his angle is more like, I'm a fucking piece of shit. He's got sort of maybe a different spin. The interesting thing about this guy and why this is of particular interest to me is that the guy we're going to be talking about today lives here in Kansas City.
Is that right?
He's not from here. He owns property in a lot of different areas, from what I can gather. I guess I don't know that for sure. But it seems like he does.
Okay.
His name is Troy Kearns, and so he's a landlord by day, and you know, a sort of wannabe social media influencer. He posts a lot of videos. Aren't we all, dude? Hey,
buddy.
Welcome to Jakin.Off. I got nothing against him on that, dude. I mean, you know, look at us. But he has this thing called the Millionaire Mentorship Program.
Okay.
It's like a nonprofit. He also uses it to buy property, because there's this sort of thing you can do in Missouri where you can buy, like, you can essentially get homes for free if you're a nonprofit and you provide affordable housing, or not affordable housing, but equal opportunity housing. Is how it works.
You have to specifically be a 501c3, which is a specific classification of a nonprofit.
Okay.
The whole sort of irony to this is that the people who do this are like raking in massive amounts of money, because they will like buy these, like, you know, sort of run down. Maybe they've been foreclosed on, that, you know, a bank has owned them for however long and they've, you know, come into disrepair, like nobody's been living there. They'll buy them. They'll get them to like the bare minimum, like, line necessary to rent to people, and then like, you know, make a bunch of profit.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're doing. And that's sort of this guy's thing. Like, that's what this guy does. But I want to show you first and foremost the video that first came up for me, that introduced me to Troy Kearns.
What is this screen, by the way? Is it made of wood?
No,
It's just a free monitor I would have acquired.
Yeah, it's a TV that's like in a cage. Oh, I guess it's a computer monitor. I always thought it was a TV.
I think it could be both. It's
What is the difference? And we don't need to go into all this now.
like a monitor with an HDMI cable is the same thing no matter what. You can use it as a TV. You can use it as a computer monitor.
Damn straight, dude. That's how I feel. That's what I.
Thank you, Brett.
That's what I think George Washington died for. All right. George Washington. Here is the clip that introduced me to Troy Kearns for the first time.
On the side of the house, it's bulging a little bit.
Yeah, we don't when it's a rental.
Really?
Why would I do? Is that going to bring me any more rent? Hey, he asked a very good question. You notice how this is bulging right now? How much more rent does that make me if I fix it?
None. How much less if the house falls apart?
Oh, it's not going to fall over. It's been leaning for a long, long time. Listen, so the other thing, if that thing needs a new roof, we won't put a new roof on it. You know what we'll do? Okay, we'll use Rust-Oleum sealant to seal the roof so it doesn't leak. And then when we go to sell it, we'll put a new roof on and we'll fix this thing.
So it's like, it's kind of funny. The thing that I found sort of slimy about this is that he's admitting, he's being like, well, of course it needs a new roof. Yeah. Of course we need to fix the bulge if I was going to sell it to somebody, but I'm just going to let somebody live here. And it's like, whoa, dude. Don't you think that that's a little, like, you know, but I think that what sort of is this guy's like most outstanding skill, from what I can gather, and what makes him successful, is a complete, just like being totally devoid of self-awareness at all, to the point where it is his greatest strength.
Yep. I really enjoyed the part where the guy was like, hey, isn't this house like dangerously a piece of shit? And the guy was like, this house has been a piece of shit for a long time. I don't think it's a problem.
And so, dude, I actually ended up finding another clip that they must have shot after it, or maybe before it, where they get up
the
closer.
House is like falling to the ground.
Well, it's the same. It must have been like the same day, same shoot. They get up closer to the house, and the guy behind the camera is like being like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty bad, man. And he's being like, no, it's not.
So Danny says this foundation's torched. You talking about right around here?
Oh, this whole right, look how bowed out.
Oh yeah, it's just a little bit of putty and paint. Bowed out.
Yeah, this whole wall bowed.
Oh, that looks good, man. Nah, that's fine. No big deal. It's not being resold, so I mean, I think it's fine. You got a little bit of a bow, but it's an old house. It's in perfect shape on the outside or inside.
I know, I'm just where, like, you can see the top.
how it looks like the top's gonna collapse in and this bottom's gonna just crumble out. All the brick and everything. Oh yeah, no, that's good. That'll be fine. This whole wall.
You get up really close to the brick.
Is here, and then it jets in, so it's not sitting straight. You can see it separating right here. And all the brick. It's fine. Don't go messing with it. You're gonna make it worse.
Such a big gap.
It's fine. It's fine for a rental. We'll deal with it in a couple of years when we go to resell it. But that's the plan here, is not to go all the way on this house. And I'm sure eventually that'll need to be changed when we sell it, but not now for a rental. It'll be fine.
You know. So, and here's the thing. I think that there's a degree of this that a lot of people would listen to and be like, well, it's reasonable though. Like, you don't want to like dump a bunch of money into a rental property. Like,
Sure, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but but at the end of the day,
I don't get what's funny about this guy.
we're gonna get there. Trust me, dude. This is gonna be a nice little slow. I actually have like too many clips of him because I was watching so much.
So the whole episode it's on Troy. It's not like a lot of landlords. Like
no, dude. I have like this guy because he really runs the gamut, and I feel like because it's so like local, and we get a real. He does a lot to reveal himself, and here's the thing too that I've noticed about him, and I guess it's good to maybe highlight this now because as we go it might become more apparent. When he's doing landlord stuff, he is like the most confident guy in the world,
right?
Because he's been doing it for a while. Clearly he clearly understands the ins and outs of like how to be a landlord. He's like, yeah, you have to like do everything the cheapest possible way,
right?
And then rent the property and like make money without having like overhead,
right?
You know what I mean? Expenses low, like revenue high, or whatever. And when he talks about other stuff, it's like he immediately betrays like how much of a dipshit he is because he like starts mumbling, like the way he asks. There's parts where he's talking to other people later where he'll ask him a question and it's like the most unintelligible, like he doesn't even know how to formulate the question of the topic that he's having this person on to talk about.
Right.
And so it's entertaining to me, and he does a lot of stuff with the Hispanic people on his work site.
I'm interested to find out what that means. He's doing stuff with the Hispanics.
Yeah, he's doing shoots. They're doing shoots. Let's see, dude. We'll keep on.
Horatio, take your shirt off. We're trying to get the shot of this wall jutting out. I want to see you jut out a little bit.
I haven't included these, but there's plenty of clips of him being like, "This guy did a horse shit job. Get him back here." And he needs to bring our ladders back. He's always saying that they stole his ladders. He's like, they took my fucking ladders.
They left all the damn snakes.
We paid them to come here and haul a bunch of trash, and they took our ladders.
I feel like that snakes and ladders joke I made went a little underappreciated.
I didn't even catch it. I'm sorry.
I didn't get it.
Whatever. Well, you guys probably call it shoots and ladders or something.
I just never played either.
Is that right?
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
not
good game.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude.
This is how you let your workers treat your guests.
Like Shoots and Ladders it's like an upgrade of Candyland. Candyland's the first game where you don't even have to know how to count. You just have to know how to count like 1 or 2, and then you go by color. Right?
Well,
you're drawing
I'm
cards. You're not rolling dice.
Another board game reference.
And then Shoots and Ladders, they're like, let's upgrade
Brett,
Candyland a little bit with a.
You're in trouble.
All right.
But hey, that's life. Wait, is life a video? Is that a board game or a
Yeah,
cereal?
life is a board game.
But it's okay. But it's both.
Yeah,
And it's a cereal.
Yeah.
And it's a cereal. Okay.
yeah. And Troy Kearns is a landlord. And here's a clip of him talking.
And a dipshit.
Here's a clip of him talking about his rental units. Again.
Okay.
Are you including them in your rentals?
No. And rentals get nothing. No, nothing. No garbage disposals. No ceiling fans. Can lights. That's it.
You include like refrigerators and ovens with them?
Refrigerators and ovens, yes. That's it. Because anything in a rental that garbage disposals will always go wrong. Everything will always go wrong in that. You want to put can lights in your rentals. If I'm in a rental and I go change my light bulb, pull that thing apart, set it over here, change my light bulb, and forget to put it back up because I'm a renter. Not saying that every renter's like that, but a lot of them are.
Leave it somewhere that falls and breaks.
So a can light looks nice, right? So I put a can light. How easy is it to change that out? So I'm gonna spend a little bit more money on the can light, but it's done forever.
Dude, it's clearly his trains. Being a landlord is his trains. Like, did you see like his eyes like glazed over, and he's like, rentals get nothing. Rentals get nothing.
He let the Holy Spirit of being a dickhead just take him over.
He's possessed. And again, dude, it's like, I don't think that, it's makes you like crazy to be like, oh, like, well, what he's saying, kind of does make sense. It does make sense for like the context that we live in. Like,
yes,
I'm not arguing that like, necessarily about like what he's saying. I'm sure it's a great business model.
Oh yeah,
sure it's awesome.
It's almost like just like the concept and the carrying out of capitalism. Is in general a bad thing. For most quality of life.
Yeah, he's really embodying it. I think it's like what is so striking about Troy is that he really is like a good example of who that guy is, like who the people are that are like the most like invested into this stuff. Yeah. And it's like hustle bro, like finance, like he essentially treats it like a get rich quick scheme almost or something, but it's like, no, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's like, it's the foundation of capitalism. Yeah. It's property and like owning it and stuff.
I feel like in another life, this guy would be like the mayor of a town where like the city keeps selling off forest land to like build bomb factories. Yeah. And like the sky is always gray and
just there's a guy just like him in like 1930s Germany who's like, yes, we can tear down this forest to build a Zyklon B factory. Dude, he's he actually owns a big parking lot and building downtown. Which we'll maybe get to. I don't know. I like I said, there's certain clips that I feel like I have to show you.
Sure.
But then there's so many. I seriously have like 19 or 20 clips of this guy. So I'm kind of freestyle editing like what needs to be shown here. Here's a clip of him that I decided was really important because he somehow has the worst stadium take of all time. You know how they wanted to build the downtown baseball stadium?
Yeah.
And like people, there was a big to-do about that. I personally said, let's not do the downtown baseball stadium, how they're planning it in this way.
Sure.
But Troy has his own idea, dude, and it involves the airport. Just like all good ideas.
Governor Parsons, I hope you hear this message loud and clear. You control this state. 674 acres are right outside the city. The highest and best use is not for an airport. We got a brand new airport, which there could be some improvements there, but one thing that we could do to improve that is to add an executive airport right next to the old airport, right? Now you've got all your people flying into one airport. That makes more sense, less resources, right? You're gonna misplace a few executives. Big deal. So you get rid of that big 674 acres of land that Kansas City owns and controls, owned by the County of Clay, controlled by the Kansas City, Missouri. You take that big thing and you build the largest sports complex and you build all these roads that come into it. You build all these little overpasses that flood right into the city so people can park downtown. People can tailgate downtown. People can tailgate down in the venue. This same thing happened in Seattle. Not exactly that way. I'm from Seattle. It changed the entire south of the Dome district, which is called Georgetown and all these other areas, and it worked.
I'm confused by his idea.
It doesn't make any sense.
Wait,
dude.
what land? So he wants the new airport to be turned into a stadium, or the old airport?
Dude, it's confusing. There's 674 acres is also so much. You don't need that much for a stadium, dude.
Yeah.
It's so
And also,
many
like,
fucking acres
if he's talking
of
about the
land.
airport, that's like 40 minutes outside the city. It's so far.
And I love the idea where he's like, and it's just highway overpasses, dude. There's just fucking bridges. You just build bridges everywhere. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? But that's what I mean, though, right?
He's
It's
got like the road like mapping he has in his head is like
Yeah.
a Rube Goldberg machine where like just everything is crisscrossing. It's like a game of Mousetrap.
Governor
Another
Parsons.
board game.
Governor Parsons, I hope you're hearing this. Have you ever seen a spider web? Have you ever seen a spider web by the airport?
Also, like, I kind of agree with him on this one, but he was like, we could lose a few executives. It's like what?
Yeah, dude. He's also the only conservative person that I've ever heard be like, we got to turn this place into Seattle. He's like, let's get a Chaz over here, dude. We got to get a CHOP district. Let's do it.
Oh, man.
So you see what I'm saying, though, is like he clearly knows a lot about what kind of lights you should put in your rental property.
Sure.
He clearly knows a lot about how you can get away with not fixing a building that's going to, fall over in really no telling how long.
A building that literally looks like a tomato that you've had on the counter for like a week and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And he's like, people could live here for like 2 years,
Yeah.
probably.
He's like, look, when it falls apart, then I'll sell it. We'll figure it out then.
We'll get the insurance money and we'll rebuild.
We'll build an airport. We'll build a stadium. Who cares?
He's like, have all the executives fly into the same airport. They'll drive on the highways. They'll never get anywhere. Highways, as far as the eye can see. Governor Parsons, imagine.
We will lose a few executives when this house collapses.
But here's sort of the last what I had kind of grouped as the intro clips. This is Troy.
I love how you have them
This is-
sectioned out.
This is Troy describing a certain business model that he loves. And I think that once you figure out what business chain this is, it's going to become very obvious why he loves it. It's so funny.
World headquarters right there. I think, honestly, that's one of the best business models around. The pizza's so inexpensive. It's actually pretty good pizza, in my opinion. I mean, I know it doesn't last for that long, so.
You mean it gets bad?
Yeah, just like if you
Once
don't.
it cools.
Once it cools down, it's pretty much.
You gotta have it hot.
You gotta have it hot, but it's. I mean,
It's a $5 bill.
it's a $5 bill.
Dude, so for those of you listening at home, it is a clip of him in his car driving by the Little Caesars headquarters. He says it's actually pretty good pizza. The reason why this guy loves Little Caesars, and I don't even know if he realizes this, but it's because they are to pizzas as he is to like
homes.
property.
Yeah.
They're like, we're gonna fucking do it as cheap. You're getting dog shit. You're getting dog shit.
It
But
might be dog food, actually.
yeah, but hey, you need it.
Yeah.
You only got a $5 bill. You really don't have much of a choice.
And it's
actually.
going bad quick.
Yeah, you better eat it hot.
And they walked back on it so fast. They're like, it's so good, but as soon as
yeah.
it goes cold, nah.
They're like, it does go bad. It does go bad.
He also like talked about it the same way he talked about the wall in that collapsing house, where he was like, in my opinion, it's fine. It's good.
Yeah.
This is a good wall.
This
This is a pretty good wall.
This wall is going to hold for at least 5 years, and this pizza is going to be hot for at least 5 minutes. But yeah, dude, this is it's a great encapsulation of him, dude. I think it speaks volumes. Babe, we're gonna circle the block again. Get your phone out. We're gonna talk about Little Caesars. It's great. I fucking love Little Caesars. He's just driving, dude. I imagine that this guy is constantly driving in his car, and like he drives by McDonald's. He's like, McDonald's is fucking awesome. Dude, fucking CVS is fucking awesome, dude. American Family Insurance is sick. I love that. That's a great business model. Yeah, dude. Troy Kearns, man. He's a treat. He's a real treat. I guess now we'll talk about the the way that he interacts with the people who work for him.
These are the people. Did we ever see him interact with the people who live in his properties?
No, I imagine that they have no way of contacting him.
Oh yeah.
I bet that he probably has like a property management company that he
Sure.
employs. It's like, you know, or like he runs everything under some sort of shell.
Right.
I bet he's, you know, I mean, dude, he one of the things that I read about this guy, which was just this press release from a law office, was that he owns a building downtown. I know which building it is. I'm not going to say which building it is because I'm not trying to necessarily dox him, but he's doxing himself pretty hard. It's pretty easy to figure out. He's posting from there, at there, that kind of thing, about it frequently, but he it was like a millions of dollars deal. I think it happened a while ago. And I think he's like you know, I think he's pretty well off, and yeah, I don't want to dox him, but it's, you know, it's
If you have
I feel
3 minutes,
weird.
you could figure it out. I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like it's just strange, but I imagine that he doesn't do a lot of interacting with the people who rent his homes. from him.
Or probably people in general.
Yeah, yeah. I think that he interacts with a lot of people who have no choice but to treat him like he's smart or has like good ideas about anything outside of canned lights and that kind of thing, you know? But here, well, we'll get a sense for that at least with these videos. This first one, it's Gringos versus Mexicanos, which I don't know if Mexicano is the correct. I think we would just say Mexicans, right? Like, or is Mexicano? Look it up, Brett. Is that the proper?
Like, we can
term?
assume probably not, right?
I just,
I think it might be.
It might be. Yeah, it doesn't sound like
Or Mexicanas.
Yeah,
If it's a lady.
Mexicanas. Yeah.
It's Spanish for Mexican. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll give him credit where
Point
credit's
one
due.
for Troy.
Yep, Troy knows how to say Mexicans in Spanish.
That is one smart gringo.
Yeah, I actually don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Yeah, he's one smart gringo, dude. But here he is on the job site. Here we go.
Hey, let me ask you, who do you think works harder, gringos or Mexicanos?
Gringos.
So, Danny, what do you think?
Yeah, I think
You don't want to say it on camera.
definitely not gringos.
Definitely not gringos. Listen, dude, I'm just going to tell you right now. I hire pretty much all Hispanics that work for my crews. We can't find anybody who's Blanco that wants to work hard besides Danny. He's like the last one, dude. You came up here, how long you been living up in the United States?
35 years.
35 años?
Yeah.
So you've been living here 35 years. All right, who do you like, Trump or...
Trump.
See? That's what I'm telling you. It doesn't matter. Where are you from?
From Mexico.
¿Dónde está?
Mexico.
Okay. Did you party last night? Woo. You guys drinking last night? No. Tequila? Today? Okay, good. I can smell it, man. I'm like, woo. You came out here from Vegas how many months ago? 2 months?
2 months, yeah.
2 months? How you like it so far?
I like.
A lot? Better than Vegas?
Oh, yeah.
There's more crime in Vegas? Yeah.
Dude. So this is just to illustrate his complicity in the quote unquote migrant crisis that we have in this country.
How recent is that video?
That's from like within the last, I think, 8 months. At
Okay,
least he's
okay.
that was posted within the last like couple months. But
Sure.
I can tell from the evidence in the video based on what he's wearing, the way that it looks outside and stuff, because I think I got some other ones from maybe similar, the same job sites around the same time.
Sure.
And it's clearly fall outside.
Right.
But he's posted it within the last like month, 2 months.
Right.
Yeah. So there's no telling. He's got a crazy backlog, dude. Like this guy posts a lot, and he's gone
His
viral.
discography is unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unmatched.
the clips that I showed you, the first couple, those are the ones that have gone the most viral and have popped off the most for him. And then everything else is sort of, you know, it's almost just like he's putting it into like the void, kind of. It's similar to this podcast, I guess. Numbers aren't all that different on a lot of the videos.
Sure.
But he's got
what's
some
his-
big bangers, dude. He has
What's
way
he
more
biggest? Is he
subscribers.
Instagram, TikTok? Where's he biggest?
I think Instagram
Facebook?
for sure. Certainly not YouTube. His YouTube isn't crazy. But I think Instagram, yeah. Facebook. I didn't look up his Facebook just because I don't go on Facebook that much, but
Sure.
he's got to be big on Facebook, dude.
Yeah,
That's
probably. That's the market for him.
I would imagine.
That's where a lot of the other property owners are.
Yeah.
Facebook is for people who
Play Farmville still.
play Farmville. They're like, I'm doing this in real life too.
Oh my God. So we're familiar with our good pal Max Peterson.
Yes,
Kid
our kid
correspondent.
correspondent.
He's become obsessed with like pool lately.
Oh, really?
He's just been
dude?
going to like bars and like playing pool, and like he bought a cue and all that. And then like the last week when we're not at a place with like a pool table, he's playing like mini clip pool on his phone.
That's honestly sick, though.
I keep telling
Shark
Connor,
it.
I'm like, we got to do something about this.
Dude,
Have an
pool-
intervention.
Pool is cool. If he gets really good, he can do like trick shot videos,
Yeah.
and then you
He
honestly
keeps
dude,
losing. every
putting money
day
on
I
it?
see him, and he was like, "Yeah, we were at Hillsiders last night playing pool. We just got beat every game."
Yeah, that sucks. That's tough. But if he keeps practicing and gets good, dude, he can be. I feel like you can make a legitimate living off of being a pool trick shot person now. Isn't that weird, dude? We got rid of all the manufacturing jobs in this country, and we're like, nah, you do pool trick shots.
The one thing
They're
AI
like, oh, you-
can't replace.
You used to work in a steel mill? Nah. You play pool. You don't even play pool. You just do shots. You just do trick shots. Yeah, it's sick, dude. It's cool. Here's a video of Troy with this Guatemalan guy who works on a lot of his houses.
Okay.
And he has there's a couple videos with him. So this first one is him with his Troy has a book. And so here it is.
What book you got in your hands?
I got Troy's book, El Pensamiento de un Millonario en español. Leandro.
Are you gonna read it?
Sure.
On the toilet?
Yeah. Se lo recomiendo, está bueno. La verdad.
Get a copy. Each dollar goes to save a child in Guatemala. We'll do something for Guatemala.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's so awesome. At first he's like, it'll save a child in Guatemala. And then he's like, we'll do something.
Yeah.
There's no way. I'm gonna say it right now, dude. I'm alleging it. The allegations are that none of the proceeds of this book have made it to any children in Guatemala, dude.
What I am alleging is he put that on a sticky
Yeah.
note and forgot about it.
Yeah, allegedly none of this money has made it to Guatemala.
The first part he said with such confidence, like he already was doing like a Guatemala project.
yeah,
Then
yeah,
immediately
yeah.
the next thing was like, I mean,
Wait,
we'll
yeah.
figure it out. I mean,
Dude, yeah, exactly. Here's another clip with this same guy. I imagine that this is times past, and that guy appears in other clips besides these two.
Sure.
But this is clearly later.
Can I get you on video again?
No.
You're famous in Guatemala.
Okay.
I think the most important thing when you're trying to find people is that you can't be like so rigid, like where like if his price is this way and then something happens, I just say, no, it stays this way, because then we're not gonna have a relationship. So I think the biggest thing is we build trust, and sometimes I gotta go up and sometimes you gotta go down, right?
Yep.
I just came back from your home country. Where are you from?
Guatemala.
Guatemala. So what do they call people from Guatemala?
Chapines.
Chapines is ¿qué?
Chapines is like a short name to name them.
But you're actually tall, like going to your
No.
country. No, but actually, The funny thing is, in your country, I seen the people. You're tall for your country. You're just small for this one.
Yeah, I see a lot of people like that.
Look,
But I
like,
mean,
look.
not everybody, because there's another states that the people is taller as you.
I didn't even know that Guatemala had a civil war, too.
It is.
Can I get you on video again?
Dude, clearly at the beginning, the guy's like, please, like, I don't want to be on video, dude. It's like, it's not safe for me. Like, this isn't fun for me, you know? Like, he's fucking like, he tells him no, and he's like, come on. It's like, and then he just reminds him of the civil war that happened in his country. It's the most heinous, like, dude,
such like a moment of like do it. You don't want something bad to happen, do you?
Yeah, dude. It's like very much so the vibes of like they don't have a choice but to like entertain this guy.
Yeah.
I've had a boss before. You know,
Sure.
I'm not from Guatemala, but I've had a boss before.
Yeah.
And so I feel compelled to like act this way at times, like, you know, just because I need a job.
Oh, yeah.
And so I imagine if like I needed a job and I'm not even saying that any of these people are here undocumented, but like they're snatching up. You don't have to be undocumented these days.
Oh, they'll
you
take
know?
anybody.
Yeah, exactly. And so
Brett's gonna be gone next week.
Yeah, I heard they're coming for Brett.
They're like, Brett, I heard Brett's chapinas. Which, not to make fun of a foreign language or a foreign country, but chapinas is a very funny. I mean, oh boy,
I didn't think about that.
It's not good that that's the first thing. That's the main thing that I drew from that video was chapinas.
It's funny though. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you are right, dude.
See you guys.
You know, no offense, but chapines is funny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, clearly this guy doesn't want to be on camera for good reason. And Troy's like, "Come on, buddy. What do you mean?" We got a couple more here, dude. These next two are this is Troy taking on some political talk, dude.
Oh, thank God.
So, and he got a black guy to ask him these questions. He's like, "Hey, could you come ask me a couple questions?" They're clearly questions that he told this guy to ask him.
Right.
So here it is.
Why do you think more business people don't go into politics?
Because of the blowback. Look what they did to Trump. They tried to put him in jail. They put out all dirty laundry, some true, some not.
Yeah.
They tried to kill him. How many presidents have been assassinated? JFK, McKinley, Abe Lincoln, Martin Luther King, assassinated by the government. Because when you have too big of a voice,
They don't like that.
they don't like that. If you're smart and you're a businessman and you could pay that HOA board member to do what you want done, to preserve your self-interest, why do you need to run? So you have dopes running the place, and the guys behind them are the business guys, and they're the ones pulling the strings, like the BlackRocks and stuff like that.
The most brain dead take of all time, dude. The whole knock against politicians is that they like literally it's a revolving door.
Yeah.
It's a revolving door between business and politics. The idea that there's not business people involved directly in politics is so dumb, dude.
I know.
The history, I mean, like, dude, I don't know. You guys don't need me to explain you that. Nobody that listens to this podcast.
Yeah, I feel like half of like all politicians are like, whoa, what did he do before he was in Congress? He's like, oh, he was the CEO of Pizza Hut.
Yeah, he's the
It's
heir
all
to the
businessmen.
Cheez-Its fortune or
Yeah,
something like that.
It's all businessmen. Also,
Oh, Tyler Nabisco?
oh yeah, dude. Yeah, hear about the new senator? His dad founded Yoo-Hoo. Also, like, I don't think he meant to do it this way, but it is very funny to be like, they're killing all of our presidents, man.
Yeah.
JFK, Reagan, Martin Luther King.
No, exactly, dude. He couldn't think of other presidents who have been assassinated.
Yeah.
Or even attempted to be assassinated.
Yeah,
He did not
Ronald
name
Well,
Reagan.
he didn't even mention Reagan, yeah. Which, by the way,
Yeah.
shout out to my boy John Hinckley.
Yeah.
Wherever you're at.
Dude.
We were just talking about how there's not enough Jodie Foster fans
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh,
what
buddy.
the world needs now.
I was
is
thinking about
Jodie Foster fans.
I was thinking about this the other day. I would love to get to a level of anything, be it comedy or podcasting or whatever it might be, where somebody attempts at least murder in my name.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to be like Sam.
Yeah.
From the Son of Sam.
The dog.
I'd like to be the
dog
dog
that he thought was directing
or
him to...
I want to be Catcher in the Rye. I want to be that guy.
Yeah, you want to be... I get what you're saying.
I want somebody to like shoot Benson Boone on
you
his
wanna be
front
like,
porch
you wanna
because they think that I wanted them to.
You want to be the sort of obscure, nonsensical, really unconnected reason for somebody to do
I want to be
something.
I want to be the
assassinate
reason somebody has something terrible happen to them.
Yeah,
but
you want to be.
I don't want to do anything. I want to be completely in the clear, and I just want to be the inspiration. I want to be the inspiration for one murder. Just
unbeknownst to you, and you're like, "What the fuck?" Afterwards,
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy,
yeah,
and then you're like,
yeah.
"It's also kind of beautiful."
Yeah, dude, I want to be Jodie Foster so bad. If you're out there and you want to be my John Hinckley,
yeah, then that person could go on to have
Yeah.
a music career when they get out of they get out of prison.
And for legal reasons, if you kill somebody in my name, I won't love you because of it.
Yeah, you're not going to get any letters from Pat.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get any letters from Pat that say, "Oh, thank you so much."
Did Jodie Foster
I'm
ever
so
acknowledge
flattered.
it in any way?
No, I can't imagine that she could. I mean,
No. Imagine if she
Yeah.
came out next year and was just like, was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine she probably rubbed one out. I mean, right? She's probably like, nice.
Yeah.
Here's another clip of the same guy asking him a question. The funny thing about this clip is that it's clearly they have edited a different clip of this black guy who's asking him the questions from a different time that he asked him a different question to make Troy's answer make more sense.
Sure.
In this clip. So here it is. We would call it the magic of editing.
The country seems to be in turmoil because now he wants to impose tariffs and he has a lot going on. So what's your take on what's happening right now?
There's a lot of money that's being made the way the entrenched interests are going on. And he's coming as an outsider and he's stripping out all of these entitlement programs, all of this money that's just going to waste. So it's kind of like this. You have a company, I'll give you an example. I have all these subscriptions we were just eliminating the other day. So the government as a whole, we have all these like just wasted money. And then we have all these other people ripping us off. And they've farmed off all of our jobs overseas where we don't make anything here no more. The only reason the United States is rich is because we are a military for hire. We're always in a war because we're the heavy. We go and knock someone out. A lot of that shit is all about the money, the military industrial complex and all that thing. So the whole tariff thing is him trying to bring the manufacturing section back to the United States. You know what I mean? So we just don't really have any products or services anymore. We got Hollywood, but as a nation, we've lost our way. We have the digital revolution, but that's about all we have. So as a whole, Trump understands that, and he knows that to build the company strong, you got to do some tough things that people don't want to see.
Yeah.
Nobody likes change.
True. But as far as the tariffs, what do you think
Whoa. It's a crazy cut right there, dude. It's wild.
Is it possible that those are like twin brothers?
No. No. It's a different setting, dude. It's like the chair is in a different place. I mean, I guess it is possible that they're two different guys, actually. Now that
Why?
I'm looking at it.
If it is two different guys, Wild did not be like have like a disclaimer like, by the way, this is two guys.
Yeah.
Because that is. Can we see it in full speed again?
Yeah.
I don't even care about the fucking tariff
True.
thing.
But as far as the tariffs, but what do you think about
he has the
what
same
that does to
voice.
the everyday American?
I think it might affect him in the short term.
Yeah.
We're already paying too many taxes. What he's trying to do is make this country rich again. We owe $42 trillion in debt or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. Crazy
So
number.
he knows the quickest way to pay off that debt is through tariffs. What he's trying to do is he's forcing manufacturing back to the U.S. And there is no tariff if that product is made in the U.S.
Well, that's actually not completely true because if the product is going somewhere else, then there will be a tariff on that product in the other place.
100%.
Just to be clear about that. Just because it's made in the U.S. doesn't mean that it doesn't get tariffed anywhere. I think what he is saying is, like, what he means is that you don't have to pay a tariff on it in the United States.
Right.
But here's, again, dude, and this is, I feel like I don't need to, like, tell anybody who's listening to this podcast, I don't need to tell you this, that didn't make any sense at all.
No.
But the thing that I think is so hilarious about it is, it's like, which is it, dude? Is Donald Trump a businessman or is he not entrenched in the system? You know what I mean? Like, which one is it, Troy? I don't know. You goofball. He's just kind of a dork, dude. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Once you get him outside of the property that he just bought, he's like a giraffe trying to stand up for the first time.
Way too much Monopoly growing up is probably what he didn't turn those properties into hotels.
Board game reference.
Yeah, dude.
Board
Let's
game
go.
reference.
Monopoly.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Monopoly Man. So I'm going to show you a couple more here, and this is going to be the end of what I've referred to as the goofy, silly section, and then we're going to get into the scary part. So, dude, not only is Troy trying to do like this whole like businessman, influencer, political, fucking middle-aged Andrew Tate type situation, I guess.
Sure.
He's also, he can help you get like actual life advice. Like for instance, these are some clips from when he had a dating expert on his podcast. So here's some questions that Troy had about modern dating.
Like, what things do guys write that is a no-no, or what kind of pictures do we take or show that we really shouldn't?
There's two things. One, men will either write nothing, zero. And so we know like nothing except, these couple of photos. And then women start to think, okay, so how engaged is this guy really in the process? Is he really looking for hookups? Is he really looking for a serious relationship? I don't think so, because he really didn't write anything. Then on the other hand, you have men that write a book. It's like a mini novel. It's going on and on and on. And they even talk about like past relationships. No, we don't care. Leave some surprises for us, on the first date.
So here's what I find particularly funny about these. No shade to this lady. What she's saying makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
But I think the funny part to me is that Troy's like, let's get some advice on dating. And let's get it from a 70-year-old. It's like, I don't know if it's because that's the only person who would go on his podcast. I don't know, like, what the parameters were.
It's funny, too, because he himself is like a 53-year-old guy.
And he's clearly, based on the way that some of these questions are asked in some of these other clips, he's obviously not dating.
No.
I think he's married. I'm pretty sure he's married.
Like, what's it for?
Yeah, it's for just influence, dude. Like he's trying
it's
to
for
be
power.
He's trying to be an influencer, and he's covering all of his bases. He's like, you got to make money, you got to fucking bang chicks. You gotta totally.
It's so funny to build a brand on being just like a morally bankrupt business person, and then to also like put out videos where you're like, gay son or thought daughter, dude.
He's like, yeah, this house gets a 4 on the boom meter. boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it's particularly cringe, like that's really my big problem with Troy, right? I'm 30 years old. About to be 31. I have come to grips with the fact that the world that we live in is full of guys like this.
Yeah.
But what I refuse to stand for is them doing this on the internet. That's what I refuse.
It's the digital revolution, man.
Exactly. I refuse to sit by and allow them to be this way in public, in front of all of our faces, and to make it and to influence others to potentially turn into this. I think that's my battlefield, dude. That's where I fight.
Well, what happened for so long is that like cyberbullying, like in like the late 2000s, early 2010s, became such a problem that like it was like such a thing that people there'd be like PSAs and fucking like Lifetime movies about kids killing themselves over cyberbullying.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of it we just stopped it in general, and that allowed these guys to flourish. And because we weren't cyberbullying them, and now it's too late. They have these. There's so many people that are like, this guy makes a lot of sense.
And I would also argue too that there weren't as many of these people that are from Troy's demographic that were online at that time.
Yeah,
the way that they are now. Like, we mitigated cyberbullying amongst like ourselves and like
Lord
other,
of the Flies.
Yeah, other internet generations without these people. And then now they have now made their way online, and you know, we're realizing that maybe there were some mistakes that we made. Maybe we needed to keep some of the social pressure that cyberbullying allows us to apply. Okay, here's another dating clip, dude, with the same lady. These all have the same lady. I regretfully don't have her name, but she seems really nice. She
had nice earrings.
She has nice earrings, and she fucking makes a lot out of nothing.
Sure.
Because he's giving her nothing, dude. And there's, we'll get to some pretty funny clips here.
Do coffees, do drinks, something that where you can cut and run if it doesn't work out?
I would say do lunch, it's an hour. Do a drink, you know, that could be 45 minutes to an hour. I think coffee's a cop-out date. You know, Starbucks, come on, that is hardly romantic. And you know what? She's going to show up in her Lululemons. You're going to show up, you know, in workout gear because you're going to the gym right afterwards or something. Like, it's not a real date. Now, on the other hand, if you say, you know, you both are super into hiking. If you said, hey, I'll meet you at the Starbucks, let's grab a coffee and let's do this hike. And it's a safe place. Like, it's not like, you know, somewhere nobody ever goes hiking, you know, where it's, you know, wide open, you know, somewhere wide open, you know, where you're walking and talking and doing something. Then I'm okay with it. But like a coffee date, a whole bunch of people in Starbucks, you know, sitting next to somebody. I can't even tell you when I take my youngest daughter to Starbucks, how many times she's like, Mom, pay attention to me, because all I'm doing is listening to the people at the next table who are obviously on a first date.
Yeah.
I know that when she said Starbucks, he's so bad wanted to be like, now that's a fucking business model.
Exactly. He's like, what's wrong with Starbucks? They're fucking perfect.
First date, you and me, Little Caesars.
Yeah.
I'm hot. You're ready.
Yeah. What do you think about taking a girl on a first date to the CC's Pizza Buffet? She's like, yeah, I mean, it's fine, I guess, if you want to sit around with a bunch of Little League baseball players who are clearly on their first date. She's just trying to make anything out of what he asked her. But yeah, dude, you should. Here's what I would say. I do agree that you shouldn't go to Starbucks on a first date, and in fact, stop going to Starbucks. Period.
Stop going to Starbucks.
Don't do it.
Take what you save by not going to Starbucks in a week and spend that on however you make your coffee a machine to do that.
No. Or just go somewhere different for coffee.
Yes.
This isn't Dave Ramsey, dude. You don't need to stop buying coffee.
Get avocado toast out of the budget.
Buy whatever you want, dude.
Not what I'm saying, but okay.
Yeah, Brett,
this episode just turns around into a complete 180 where we're actually just business mindset guys.
We're like, what you need to do is start a 501c3 to buy your coffee with. And then you can write it off as a business expense nonprofit. Smart guy. I'm so brilliant. That's the thing that I think that really that is kind of at the crux of what what particularly bothers me about this guy, and a lot of people like this, is that I feel like they're sort of operating within loopholes of our society that are exist simply for ways for people to profit. Like it's kind of on purpose, but it makes them think that they're smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's not. You're not smart. You're exploitative.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
You're not a smart guy. You're a bad guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, clearly he for this lady in particular, this is probably like a long-ish sit-down interview that he had with her. I would like to know what questions of his didn't make it into like the clips that he put on Instagram.
That's actually, dude, especially with the next one that we're gonna play, I feel like there had to be some absolute some dog shit questions where she's like, just like,
he's like, how come every woman I ever loved is left? What's going on there?
He's like, so what do you do when you're sad?
Yeah. It's almost like the walls of my relationships are collapsing.
Exactly.
And I keep saying I'll get to it in 2 years, but
so this next question along those lines, he asks her about using AI for writing dating profiles. So here's that.
Good.
If I was doing it today, I would probably use AI to create my profile based on what you just told me. Is that a suggestion to versus try to write it myself?
Be careful.
I love the way that he asked this question. I just had to stop it because he's like, should you totally do that? He's like clearly asking her a leading question. The way that he says it, he's like, is that like a suggestion?
Yeah. This whole thing is just him being like, what is the most efficient way that you can help me cheat on my wife?
He's like, so I know you know a lot about Tinder and Bumble, but can you help me with my Ashley Madison account? Allegedly.
Allegedly, this guy cheats on his wife.
Allegedly, this guy. I'm alleging that this guy cheats on his wife.
No, you guys are alleging that he has a wife. I'm not even committing to that.
Fair enough. Allegedly, this guy is married and cheats on his wife.
Yeah. Allegedly. He has a wife.
Allegedly, this guy puts his dick in a box of Little Caesars. People have alleged it, at least 2.
You got to do it within 5 minutes. It goes bad after 5 minutes. You got to do it before it goes bad.
Such a great business model.
Oh, I need it. It's going to go bad. You got to do it before the Caesar's pizza goes bad. I'm ready.
Pizza.
This is the best business idea of all time. I don't know why he sounds
Marge
like Marge
Simpson.
I just think it's neat. I just love Little Caesar's pizza. That was like even was not even worse.
I'm sorry.
You know what his favorite part about the pizza is? The dough.
Let's go, dude. Nice.
Clip it.
Brett,
clip it. Post it. Reel it. Chop it.
All right, Jakin.Off to the moon. Here we go. One day he's going to be driving by Jakin.Off World headquarters. He's going to be like, that's the best business idea. Alleging that people are cheating on their wives or that they pay little boys with silver coins to wash them with soap.
Is that something you've talked about on the podcast? Or
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There was a thing you guys
We
did.
met some soap makers.
Yeah.
Some tallow soap makers and the whole
silver coin
Yeah,
users.
he's trying to get rid of his silver coins and he's paying them to boys in his neighborhood. He's like, why can't I pay boys in my neighborhood with silver coins?
He's like, so what do you think about using AI to pay silver coins to boys to wash me with soap?
No. He wants to wash them with soap.
He wants to wash them with the soap.
He pays him a silver coin because his whole thing is like, his whole thing was that he was like, he said this to us. And then we extrapolated the little boys and washing them with soap part. But what he said to us.
Allegedly, he wants to Washy's little voice was so.
Allegedly. I'm alleging that he wants to. That's a recurring bit that we do here where I pretend not to understand how allegedly works. And so I just say that I'm alleging something when I make up a completely fabricated.
Technically, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm pretty
allegedly
sure.
you can use it that way.
They play the tape back in court. I'm like, what?
I alleged it.
But dude, he was like, yeah, you should be able to pay a boy in the neighborhood to shovel your driveway. Maybe you pay him in cash, you pay him with the silver coin, and then that should be the end of it. Like, the authorities shouldn't have to know. And then we were like, yeah, his parents shouldn't have to know. You know what I mean? He's like, why does anybody have to know? Why does anybody have to know? I want to give this boy a silver coin, and I want to wash him with my soap. Why does anybody need? Why does his dad need to know? Allegedly. But yeah, anyways, back to AI dating profile. We went off on a little tangent. But here is Troy asking this lady.
Based on what you just told me, is that a suggestion to like versus try to write it myself?
Be careful. Be careful with AI. AI is very easily recognizable. So I'll give you an example. I had a man like 2 weeks ago who came to me to use my services as a dating coach, and I write their profiles for him. And he showed me his profile that he had written that was not resonating online. And I was like, you didn't write this, did you? AI wrote it. And he goes, how could you tell? He likes to sail. And then everything in his profile, it was probably 3 paragraphs long, was join me on the voyage of life. There are many fish in the sea. It was like, I was like, this is so AI. This is so AI. So here's what I would say. Write your own, or just write bullet points. And then put it into AI, and don't use Claude or Dale. Chat GPT, pretty good, but you don't want to use.
Yeah.
Wait. Are there AI programs named Claude and Dale?
Yeah, I guess so, dude. That's what I was telling Brett before this. Brett hadn't seen this yet, but I was explaining to him. I was like, yeah, the thing that's so weird about this is that she just names 2
guys,
dad's friends.
Yeah, exactly. Brett was like, they sound like your friend's stepdad. They're like, yeah, dude, Dale, Claude, Tim,
Rick AI is pretty okay.
Frank.
My
put it through
God.
Chat GPT. Do not use Justin. Do not use Justin. Don't use Daryl.
Had you heard of Claude and Dale before?
No. I've never heard it. Look him up, Brett.
I was about to say, I don't think
Look
we
up
even
Dale.
confer.
Look up Dale AI, dude. Dale sounds so stupid.
No, she's talking about Dolly. Yeah, Dolly too. What? What was the other one?
Claude.
Oh, the
It's
cloud?
Cloud.
Claude's real. Claude's real.
Claude's real.
Now the icon does in fact look like a butthole.
She's like, yeah, so when you're making your Tinder profile.
Oh, yeah. That's a
Butthole logo.
Yeah, that does
That's
look
a
like a
butthole.
butthole. It's actually an asterisk. similar to the packaging for one Magic Minds.
Mm-hmm.
That's
which we officially endorse on this podcast.
Yeah.
Pat officially endorses on our podcast. Even though
I'm taking the sponsorship.
Pat,
I'm
noticed,
wired right now.
Pat, I've noticed that your energy isn't very calm.
Well, that's where the asterisk comes into play.
Pat, maybe your dose didn't have enough ashwagandha in it.
Too much lion's mane.
Yeah, too much lion's mane, not
That's
enough
why I just roared a
ashwagandha.
second ago.
Yeah, dude, you drink a Magic Mind. It's like in Harry Potter where they eat the chocolates.
Or like they drink the potion with the hair in it and they turn into the
Yeah.
person. I just like turn into a lion.
Yeah, anytime you drink Magic Mind, steam comes out of your ears.
And your tongue rolls out of your mouth all long, like you see a
they got
sexy
one
lady.
for the
like,
Aruga. Yeah, I'll take that one.
Wing, wing, wing.
Boing, 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 boing. But yeah, we really picked up. We don't even have to watch the rest of this.
We're not getting into the nightmare territory.
I just no. I mean the rest of this one singular clip. We're going
into the nightmare.
We're going headlong into that. Good night, Brett. We're going, dude.
I like how in that clip he was like, "Can you use AI for dating stuff?" And she was like, "AI is fucking terrible." And then she could tell he was disappointed in that, and she was like, "I mean, you can. I mean, if you wanna,
She's
you
like,
can."
I guess what you should do
bullet
if you
points.
were gonna use it. Yeah, she really let him down easy.
Yeah.
truly, because she knew that he was excited. He was like a little doe-eyed. He was
Yeah.
like, "Can you please do it? Please, can we use AI?"
She really it was a very like of mice and men ending.
Yeah.
She was like, "Think about the AI. Think about the AI, Troy. Think about Claude."
So, dude, what I ended up learning though through my investigation of Troy, right?
Right.
So
Are we getting to the scary part now?
Yes. So outside of being a complete cringe lord online, Troy, clearly he dips his toes into the political, of course.
Sure.
He obviously has inferred that he's like, if you're a businessman, like, why wouldn't you just buy off people to like do what you want them to do?
Bribery.
Yeah, like not democracy.
Right.
Like an undemocratic way of doing things is what I would call that, probably.
Yeah.
But all that to say, I came across some interviews that he did with this lady whose name is Stacy Johnson Cosby.
Of relation or of no relation?
Of no relation. Of no relation, as far as I know. Stacy Johnson Cosby.
Is Miranda Epstein Weinstein.
Yeah, so she is a little more of a professional landlord, not really as much of an influencer, but more in the political sense, right? So she is, in addition to being a Reese and Nichols agent, she's a housing advocate. And we'll get to what she advocates for.
Sure.
But she's an interesting lady, and Troy has sat down with her a couple of times. And I first, what I was doing is, because we have this organization around Kansas City called KC Tenants.
Yes.
I don't know if you're familiar with them.
It's a great organization.
Yes, it's a tenants union. And basically what they did is they said, what if we got tenants together and tried to get landlords to fix stuff.
Crazy
like,
concept.
what if we got tenants together and we said, we're sick of living in your bulging houses, in your roach infested, like rental units and stuff like that. And they've really highlighted a severe area of need, because Missouri, the state of Missouri specifically, is like historically one of the worst states for tenants' rights. I mean, most of them aren't
Forget
good.
tenants' rights, dudes. I mean,
Yeah.
Missouri sucks.
Yeah, just generally for anything. It's not a very progressive place. But they did a really good job of organizing and speaking to people at their level and getting them to sign on to this idea that, yeah, we deserve to not live in a house with bats in the ceiling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's fine. And you know what? Unfortunately, when that happened to me, I lived in KCK. And they don't have anything like that over there.
Okay.
So I was, and we lived in such a small building. It's like, what am I going to unionize? The guy it was one other tenant, and he was a cop. So I'm like, I don't know if that's the guy that I want to build. I don't know if we're going to build solidarity, me and that fella.
That would be a funny, like a group of misfits though, like you and Jenny, and then a cop, and then like the employees at a Mexican restaurant below you guys all getting together
at the barber shop. Yeah, yep. That would have been cool.
It'd be like the Avengers.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm Batman. Because I was bitten by a bat.
No other reason.
Yeah, I'm Batman, but like how Spider-Man got there. I'm like Batman by Spider.
So you're Man-Bat.
Man-Bat, yeah.
You're like, what about you, man? What hero are you? I'm a cop. No, what hero are you?
Yeah, I'm a cop.
I'm a cop. But no.
No, I got bit by a cop.
And now I'm cop out.
But here's a short clip of one interview that he did with Stacey Johnson Cosby.
I forgot about
Stacey Johnson Cosby. Here she is.
Who is KC Tenants? Who's running that organization?
It's a group out of Chicago, People's Action. They're very well funded, Soros funding by the millions and probably more than that. They're not just in Kansas City, they're across this country. And not only that, if we think, oh, they're not in my city, they're not in my state, wrong, guess again, because they're at the White House, they're at the federal level. And if they don't touch you locally, they're gonna touch you at a national level. They are sitting at the White House with the president and they have a White House Tenant Bill of Rights. And what the president told them is that if you can't get this stuff done locally, if we can't get it done in Congress, we're going to do it through our regulatory agencies. And so you better believe that all the regulatory agencies are trying to find a way to get the Tenant Bill of Rights and these socialist tenant protection laws into place at a national level. That's how it's going to happen. We're going to be at the Plaza Library, 10 o'clock in the morning. They can go to kcregionalhousingalliance.org/WS. They can join us by Zoom or in person, but we just need them to get there and to pass the word along to anyone else so that we can take care of people and make sure they don't get put out of business.
So you hear talking about KC Tenants, Soros funding, People's Action. Look, I don't know if they get funding from George Soros. I can't confirm or deny. If I had to guess, probably not. Probably not, but even if they do in some way, it's just like I agree with what they're doing, so I don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like that George Soros funds that. You know what I mean? I'm cool with it. Yeah, George Soros sounds pretty rad, actually.
That's George Soros. He's like Ebenezer Scrooge at the end of the book, where he's like, I should probably start doing some good stuff, so I don't.
Like, did you hear George had that dream? And now he wants to help poors.
He just refers to them as poors.
Yeah, he said the chains were rattling, and now he wants to help poors.
Good news. I changed my name to George Poros. I'm on for you guys now.
But you hear her talking about KC Tenants, Stacey Johnson Cosby.
Stacey Johnson Cosby.
No relation.
Stacey Johnson Cosby, no relation.
Allegedly?
Yeah. I'm alleging that she's not related to him. Yeah, at least not blood. Certainly, based on the hyphen, it would be by marriage if she is.
Sure.
So, right?
She chose to be a Cosby.
Yeah.
Do I look this up? Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Okay.
I doubt that there's going to be
Stacey Thompson Cosby?
Johnson Cosby related to Bill Cosby.
Cosby, Bill Cosby question?
There's no way that there's going to be anything like this.
Ask
online.
Dale if Stacey Johnson Cosby is related to Bill Cosby.
Hit up Dale.
Ask Dale.
He's like, I don't think so, man.
Yeah.
That's how Dale sounds.
Oh, she ran for she's on Ballotpedia.
She ran for a city council seat and lost. If you can believe it. She was yelling about Soros funding, and everybody was like, I don't know if I care about this.
I was like, I don't even think that's true.
They're like, we want the police to answer the phone when we call. They're like, we'd like the police to pick up the phone when we call. We don't. Do you think George Soros would fund that? Maybe. You talk to him about that. Dude, but she's she's a little out there, and that organization that she brought up at the end of that clip,
sure,
is
I was wondering about this. I tried to memorize the link, but
it is
I'm glad you have it pulled up.
The KC Regional Housing Alliance, and what this is the
a lot of whites.
This is the terrifying part. Yeah, there's a picture, and it's a bunch of white people. There is one black lady,
a black
guy
there.
back here. I feel weird about counting all the minorities.
I will admit, anytime I go to city-related things because of my work and my past work, I see these city events, and I always take a shot for every person of color, and it's only like 2 or 3 shots at all.
So here's the thing: this is not a community. Well, so it is community related, but what the KC Regional Housing Alliance is they are like a union for landlords. So
like
what's
how
happening?
cops have a union.
So yeah, what's happening is the landlords are unionizing now. They saw how successful the tenant union was, and they were like, "We got to get all these guys on the same page." So I figured we would read the KC Regional Housing Authority or Alliance mission statement. This is their about, and their about me on their website. So it says the KC Regional Housing Alliance, KCRHA, is a diverse group of Kansas City metro organizations that represent housing providers across our region. We strive to create an environment where housing providers, landlords, are valued. I didn't add that in. That's in parentheses. In the thing. It says housing providers in parentheses landlords.
In case you forgot who we're talking about.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny that they used housing providers earlier. I was like, oh, they're just trying to like fluff up, make it landlords sound. And then they still put landlords.
They can't
in.
help themselves. Dude. They're like, we must identify
They're creating
ourselves.
jargon,
We are
but
lords.
it's too new. Yeah.
Don't forget the power we hold over the land.
They don't want to confuse any landlords reading this. That's the problem. Is
We
they're
know
like,
these
we have
guys
to,
are pretty dim.
Yeah, we can't. We have to use the word landlords at least once in parentheses so that they know that we're talking to them. Landlords are valued partners in every community that seek to create and preserve housing. KCRHA is leading the collaboration in the industry through organizations that represent every sector of the housing industry for sale and for rent investors, landlords, property managers, and realtors. Our organization, through their memberships, represent the voices of small, medium, independent housing providers through large multifamily properties and over 100,000 rental units. It's quite a few. As the voice of the rental housing industry, we advocate for and serve all housing providers and renters. We make ourselves available to policymakers, renters, homeowners, and housing providers to work towards creating and preserving quality rental properties in our neighborhoods. We recognize that we must all work together because we need each other in order for all of us to be successful. So then this next part, and this is my favorite part of this. It says, join one of our member groups to stay engaged in the industry, network, and grow your business. And then it's going to list their member groups. And I would love to go through these and read them. So the first one, KC Regional Association of Realtors. Okay, doesn't sound that crazy, right?
No,
It doesn't
yeah,
sound,
I assumed we had one of those.
yeah, it doesn't sound too evil. Next, Heartland Apartment Association. Okay, all right. That doesn't sound too bad. The Apartment Association of Kansas City. Makes sense.
Yeah.
That I can imagine that existing. Mid-America Association of Real Estate Investors. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Landlords, Inc. is the next one.
Oh, no, these guys are incorporated.
Yeah. The National Association of Residential Property Managers, KC.
Okay. We're getting a little redundant
Yeah.
with some of what these...
They're like, you know that lady who works in the office at your place? She's got an organization. I'm like, no. Winvestors. Okay. So the term win and investors combined. Bridge Real Estate Investing Meetup Group and Yarco. Really, it's the Landlord Inc.
Landlords Inc. Is that a Pixar movie?
So I clicked on this, and the website for Landlords Inc. is dog shit. It's completely immediately you click open, and it's like PayPal. Venmo. It's like immediately
give
like,
us your
fucking
money.
Pay us right
Give
now.
us your fucking money.
It doesn't
for
even
nothing.
say, and it's like whatever amount. Pay your bills online here using PayPal or your credit or debit card or Venmo.
Yeah. Also, very funny for some reason to me that like they have like the amount of money you want to donate, and it's instead of like typing in, it's like a ticker up or down.
Yeah,
it's like
let's
just go
see.
up, hit up. Just
Yeah,
keep
by
going.
$1 every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, $69 coming to Landlords Inc. Yeah, but they're just they just seem pretty evil. And so yeah, that's what I figured out, dude. And they're smearing KC tenants. I got another clip. So this is the longest clip that we're gonna play today. Okay. And we can stop this as we go because I have a feeling that we're gonna have a lot to say.
Sure.
The first thing that I want to point out is when they actually get to the interview. So this is a clip from Troy's podcast that he did with this lady after that first clip. So this is a later interview with this lady. But
what's his podcast called? Do you know?
It's called the Millionaire Mentorship Podcast.
Oh, okay.
Because his business is called Millionaire Mentorship. Yeah,
and it's a non-profit. Which is very funny to call your non-profit.
It's a non-profit, and all it is
something.
All it is him teaching people how to do what he's doing. Yeah,
folks.
And like a lot of those videos, if you go through his social media, you'll notice that like it'll be him and a big group of people like walking around to these rental properties, and everybody will have a millionaire marketing or a millionaire mentorship hat on, or something like that. Like everybody's like wearing the swag and stuff because they've joined his school, they've joined his class.
It's
which
the uniform.
I'm actually also trying to do. I want to see if I can somehow go like do this with him one day or something. I signed up online. And I tried to go through like this first thing where it was like schedule a call, and I was like giving it my information. I made up a fake name. Steven Trice is what I love making up fake names.
It's a good fake name.
Yeah,
it's just fake enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I first went through like this questionnaire thing to see if I was like eligible for the program, and I put that I had no money and like couldn't like afford to like invest a lot of money right now, and it was like, hey, you're basically too poor to do this. Like we actually can't help you, despite the fact that like a bunch of his videos will be like, we can get you started in the real estate industry with $0 right now. You don't need any money right now. And then when I was like, I don't have any money, it was like, well, you're too poor to do that. But check out our YouTube channel. That's pretty much what it was.
Maybe George Poros can help you out.
Yeah. Have you thought about joining Casey Tenants? Actually,
start plugging them. Fucking.
But I filled it out again, and this time I said I've said money is not an issue to that question, and it was like, oh, okay, dude, can we call you right now? We'll call you right now. And then they started texting me and being like, we'll call you right fucking now.
Did you take the call?
It was like 12:30 last night. I was like, dude,
Our operators are live.
I was shitting at 12:30 at night last night, and was on the toilet. And it was texting me that I was like, I can't, like, my girlfriend's sleeping. We live in a small place, so it's like I can't talk on the phone about wholesale real estate.
I mean, you could.
At 12:30 at night. My girlfriend in the other room. I mean, if she wanted me to be a fucking winner, she'd let me. But
yeah, sure.
Yeah,
an investor.
Yeah, if she wanted to get on a fucking fat come up, dude. But she's not in it, dude. She doesn't get it. Women don't get it. But anyways, here's a clip from his episode with Stacey Johnson Cosby. No relation.
Stacey Johnson Cosby. No relation, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly, no relation. And they talk a little more about Casey Tenants in this.
Okay.
But I just clipped. This is the very beginning of the pod. And I really want you to pay attention to the way that Troy asks the first question once the actual podcast starts.
Anyone who presents themselves should be able to rent from you. You should say yes and give them the key and let them in.
That seems like a good idea to me.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right? Like, oh, you know what? You did 20 years in the penitentiary for a lot of bad stuff, and you've been evicted 52 times?
Yeah, come on in. Come on in.
Yeah, here's the keys to my car.
You're out of prison now, and you
welcome to the Millionaire Mentorship Podcast. We talk all things real estate, business, entrepreneurship, and sometimes we talk
that's what prison's for.
They're like, look, you've been to prison 52 times, and you want a place to live, and I'm an equal opportunity housing. Like, that's the thing, dude. Is this guy does like Section 8 housing?
Yeah,
and he complains about it. He'll be like, the problem is the Section 8 rules. They do it later in this interview. I didn't clip it because I watched an hour of this.
Yeah,
I watched it's like an hour, 50 something minutes of this interview, and they talk about like Section 8. They're like, it's just difficult. The thing that they like bring up, that the restrictions or the regulations are too tight, and the evidence that they have for that is they were like, they want every outlet to work. And she's like, I know, it's crazy. And you're like, yeah, dude, every outlet. He's like, if you go to my house right now, I bet every outlet doesn't work. And it's like, okay, man, well, like, that's your house that you live in.
Yeah.
You're not.
They should work.
You're not getting free property like to live in. You're getting free property to rent it to people, and it has to meet certain standards. Like, those are the rules.
Yep.
But he complains. That's like their big complaint about.
What do you mean they don't want the house to vibrate?
That's a feature.
Yeah, it feels good. It's calming. That's a fucking. It's extra, actually.
Go to.
We're talking about it. That's extra.
Yeah, I was thinking of raising the rent for that by 200%.
Welcome to the Millionaire Mentorship Podcast. We talk all things real estate, business, and entrepreneurship, and sometimes we talk politics. And today we're going to be talking politics with Stacy Johnson Cosby from Reese Nichols, a housing advocate, a real estate investor, and a realtor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So the reason that you're here is there's something going on in Kansas City right now that a lot of people are not familiar with, and you're very familiar with. And it's actually, according to a lot of people I've talked to, it's going around the country. Can you talk to what I'm talking about?
Sure. There's a move towards socialism.
Dude, he's like a character from an I Think You Should Leave sketch. Like, it is like a Connor O'Malley video with this guy, dude. He is seriously like a walking satirical. Can you talk about what I'm talking about?
He never said it.
Yeah, dude, he doesn't. It's like, but that's because it's obvious that he's like, he hit her up and was like, hey, will you come fucking bash Casey Tenants on my podcast? So he's like, yeah, she's like, yeah, that's my favorite thing to do. Can you talk about what I'm talking about? Dude, we got to get that part one more time here. I love that so much, dude. I've probably watched it like 25 times.
And a realtor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So the reason that you're here is there's something going on in Kansas City right now that a lot of people are not familiar with, and you're very familiar with. And it's actually, according to a lot of people I've talked to, it's going around the country. Can you talk to what I'm talking about?
Sure. There's a move towards socialism amongst a lot of people that consider themselves housing advocates, which they really aren't if you really break it down. There's socialists that are out of Chicago. There's a movement called the People's Action Movement, and they are infiltrating cities and states across the way. And what they do is they disguise themselves as housing advocates with their tenant protection laws, and they have their little T-shirts, the matching T-shirts, and then the little homemade sign.
They want the roaches out.
What's so funny is that all they say about like KC Tenants is that it's bad. They never say what's bad about it.
Yeah.
They just say
get
what
their little
do.
T-shirts, dude.
They're like, it's socialist. They got T-shirts. They're actually from Chicago.
Yeah, they're socialist.
Aren't these guys the worst?
They're socialist tenant protections.
Yeah, they're George Soros funded socialists. Are you sure about that?
Allegedly,
George Soros funded.
Yeah, dude. And so now she's starting a Cosby funded. Cosby funded landlords union. She's like, we got to fight this Soros funding with Cosby funding.
It's like two evil wizards, man.
No, you shall not pass.
Inspection.
Yeah. But it's just a tenant's right bill.
It's just like
the Balrog is just a piece of legislation that's like, maybe do some pest control.
The house shouldn't have mold in it.
Yeah, maybe these people shouldn't die from their house.
When you flush your upstairs toilet, it shouldn't flood into the lights in the kitchen.
Yeah. Friend of ours, shout out. Yeah, shout out to
you know who you are. You know,
not listening to
this. Your shitty, smelly house.
Yeah, your poopy lights, your little poopy lights. Anyways.
Protection laws, and they have their little T-shirts, the matching T-shirts, and then the little homemade signs, different places, and they'll go and say that they're looking out for the average tenant or the renter, and they're advocates for affordable housing. All things are false, but it is their storyline, and it's working. Their messaging is effective.
Well, I think what they're effective about is, like you said, so I remember when we fought the HOA lobby in Las Vegas, is they had all these people that were paid to be there.
They looked like they were a well-organized unit, but the reality is they were just paid. And it looked like, from looking at the Zoom meeting that you were at in person, that it was just like a bunch of paid people from KC Tenants. Now, when you look into KC Tenants, you see there's a girl who runs it. Her name is Tara. I don't remember her last name. Do you remember?
Ragavir.
Tara Ragavir. She's an Australian-born, and she went to Harvard. It looked like she grew up in a very privileged life in Mission, Kansas.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, their minds are so fucking melted by the idea of like capitalism and profit that they see people like organizing to help the less fortunate, and they're like, they have to be getting paid to do this.
Yeah.
Someone is pulling the strings.
Yeah.
And again, they haven't said anything bad yet.
Yeah, well, she was born in Australia, Pat.
She went to Harvard.
I love how he says she grew up in Mission, Kansas, as if it's, you know, for those of you who aren't familiar, Mission, Kansas, well, not in Missouri, is certainly like part of the metro. It's like right over there.
Yeah, it's
you know
so
what I mean?
close.
It's like a 15-minute drive.
Yeah.
You could go from Missouri to Mission, Kansas within 2 minutes if you were in the right place.
100%.
Yeah, there's a Hy-Vee and then a Hy-Vee gas station that are like in separate states.
Yeah.
In one of them's in Mission, Kansas, and the other one is in Kansas City, Missouri. So
yeah,
the point here being is that they're trying to like paint this lady as like a bad lady, but and I went and looked it up. I was like, who is this lady?
Sure.
She
Who is
certainly
Tara?
didn't sound Australian to me. She wasn't like, "Good day, Kansas City. We need to get the landlords." I don't know. I can't really do it. Yeah, the pokies.
Nar.
Yeah, she's really into the pokies.
What's a pokey?
It's a
slot machine.
Slot machine that they have in bars. This is another thing that we've talked
We're
about
big in
extensively on this podcast. When we did an episode about gambling, I learned about the culture of gambling in Australia.
Okay.
And they have like slot machines everywhere.
Sure.
And it's gambling addiction there is like very high.
Yeah,
And it's like it's a transfer of wealth thing because all of these slot machines, they're predominantly in like areas that have lower median incomes, because the people in the areas with higher median incomes are the ones who own the machines.
Right.
And so they put them in like areas where poor people are, and poor people lose like on average double the amount of money that people in like higher median income areas lose.
Sure.
It's a we did a whole deep dive. Check it out. Maybe there will be somehow to do that. We'll put the episode number on the screen.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
I'll figure it out.
Is that a suggestion? That's how I'm going to ask Brett everything. The same way that he asked if he could use AI for his dating profile. Brett, we could put the number on the screen. Is that a suggestion? But here's a little bit more of them trashing this lady.
Tara, I don't remember her last name. Do you remember?
Ragavir.
Tara Ragavir. She's an Australian-born, and she went to Harvard. It looked like she grew up in a very privileged life in Mission, Kansas. And her agenda, I don't know what it is. I have zero idea what it is other than to disrupt what is going on right now. Do you know what her agenda is?
Well, of course it is. And you're exactly right. It's disrupt. And then along the socialist philosophy in housing, nothing is privately owned. And so you know how the socialists say you will own nothing and you will be happy.
Yeah.
So that is their goal. And so what the thing that, and I don't take her background away from her. That's her business, and lucky for her that she lived that life. But I'm worried about the people that she's influencing, that are following her lead now, that don't really know what's happening. In my mind, and I hope this isn't too harsh, but I think they're being indoctrinated, that they're getting a lot of followers who are thinking they're doing the right thing, they belong to something, they're part of this movement, and they don't really know the true movement. Her goal is social housing, to eliminate private ownership of real estate. They want to decommodify housing. It should not be for purchase. You should not be able to buy or sell real estate, really.
Right.
And so that's one of her goals, is to decommodify housing, and the second one is to disincentivize speculators, those of us who are investors and developers and builders, to disincentivize us and basically put us out of business by making the laws so horrible that we leave the marketplace.
So what have you done to try to fight this? Because you've been kind of leading this.
So yeah, that's where I kind of cut that clip. But you can tell that they're heavily interested in sort of disparaging this lady. And so I figured one of the things that we could sort of wrap up with here is I found this was a blurb written by this person named Sarah Nelson, who is the international president of the Association of Flight Attendants. So like the Flight Attendants Union.
Okay.
So she wrote this about this
The houses of the sky.
Yeah, the houses of the sky. She wrote this about this Tara Ragavir lady.
Okay.
So she said, and this is in Time magazine, Time 100, next 2024. Time 100 next. I think it's like the next like most influential people or whatever.
Shout out Time 100.
Yeah.
400. What was it?
Time 120 next 2024. It's weird, yeah.
All right.
But I just thought that this was an interesting thing. Like, this is what they're saying in Time magazine.
Sure.
Very middle of the road periodical.
Sure.
Solidarity is stronger than gravity and stronger than the corporate greed that's invaded every aspect of American life. But building it is hard. It requires empathy, commitment, courage, and the clarity of vision. From years of experience, I can tell you that housing advocate Tara Ragavir has done something remarkable. Starting with her neighbors in Kansas City, Missouri, she created a tenants union that's become a leader in the fight for better regulations, protections, and rights for renters. This year, she expanded her reach, launching the Tenant Union Federation to help others across the country build power and forging a movement of working-class solidarity, changing the way Americans think about rent, housing, and our basic rights. Her organizing could impact millions and shift our national conversation about housing. And just as important, Tara has helped thousands embrace the power that's available to all of us through solidarity. So, sounds pretty sick to me.
It sounds pretty... And notice how that described what she's doing and didn't just say...
Soros funded.
This is Soros funded. I don't even know what her goal is. Do you know what her goal is?
Oh, there's a group on here called Renters Incorporated.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the company that she works for is called Super Evil Incorporated. Really big socialist lady incorporated, I think.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Can you tell me more about what I'm talking about? But yeah, man. So they're it's sort of
shout out Tara Ragavir, shout out Casey Tenants, man.
Shout out Casey Tenants, shout out Tara Ragavir, and down with Troy Kearns.
Down with Troy Kearns.
I figured we could actually use a little bit of Troy's advice. So this is something this is one of the only things that I found of Troy's that I thought was worthwhile.
Okay.
And that we could maybe... So this is him talking about what he believes you should do to achieve your goals and what you need. And one of the things that's required is what he calls a statement of desire, which sounds very sexual.
It's more of a suggestion.
And it could be, yeah. He calls it a statement of desire. So here he'll describe a statement of desire for us.
One thing I talked about is you have to have a goal, right? So let's start with the statement of desire, right? The statement of desire is you telling you who you are right now. I am Troy Kearns, and by the time I turn 50 years old, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. I'm going to be 185 pounds. I'm going to be playing, close to scratch golf. I'm going to be flying a jet. I'm going to have my building done. I'm going to be on my second building. I'm going to help hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students become millionaires. That's me putting in future tense what's going to happen. I'm 47 right now, almost 48. By the time this happens, I'm going to write this down. I'm going to give you the things to do, and that's going to be my statement of desire. And then I'm going to read it. I'm going to place it. I'm going to place it in my car. I'm going to place it in my bathroom. I'm going to read it to myself once a day, twice a day, until I believe it. I'm going to memorize that freaking thing until I believe it. And I'm going to become, it's called manifestation. I'm going to become that person.
Yeah, he's talking about a vision board. This is what 16-year-old girls do.
Yes.
Where they're like, I'm going to marry Harry Styles.
Athletes that are training to become pro, they're like, I'm going to make it pro. They're like putting it on their mirror and looking at it every day like, I'm going to do it. And then on his mirror, it's like, fucking just buy so much fucking houses, dude. I'm going to charge so much for rent.
I want to displace thousands of families.
There's
or
a picture
displace
of the
the
Monopoly
most
man in the
families.
corner.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got like lipstick on it.
Dude, no, he's drawn like the monocle and the mustache on his
himself.
mirror, on his mirror, right where he like. And he's like, yes, I can feel it. I can feel the power.
He's got a dartboard with like Tara Ragavir on it. He's like, I don't even know what you do, but I'm gonna get you.
Soros funded. No, but I thought it would be fun to maybe we could end the episode with our own little statements of desire, dude.
Okay.
Do you have anything that you're desiring that you want to make a statement about?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, what I've taped to my bathroom mirror is my desire for Troy Kearns to be by a fucking. I've got it on my vision board. Allegedly, I've put it on my mirror. Troy Kearns getting by a. That's what I'm envisioning, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to be when I'm 50. Is free, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody.
So we're cutting back in right now.
Can you do what I'm talking about? What I'm saying? What I'm talking about?
I think I just did it, Jake.
Well, Pat, do you have a statement of desire you'd like to make? What's your desire, dude?
My vision board is Jodie Foster, John Hinckley,
Yeah.
Catcher in the Rye,
Yeah.
and a dog.
You're manifesting, dude. You're
I'm
manifesting.
manifesting.
This has come full circle.
Yeah, it sure has.
You want, I mean, I guess that's kind of what my vision board is about too.
Someone's gonna Troy Kearns with a and be
Yeah.
like, I did it for Pat McCarthy.
Yeah. Gonna be like, I love Pat McCarthy, and I kind of want to go into this guy. Can you tell me what I'm talking about, Brett?
Tell me what I'm talking.
Can you tell me what I'm talking about, Brett? Do you have any? Do you have a?
Is that a suggestion?
Yeah. You shouldn't into that guy.
No,
That's a joke. We're kidding.
Mm-mm.
Allegedly. I'm alleging that was all a joke. It was all just a little joke. Brett, you got a statement of desire?
Yeah, my statement of desire, I look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And there's just stock images of people smiling and giving thumbs up and like being like, we're not poor? What?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'd forget that, bud. Let me tell you something. That's not coming anytime soon, Brett. Not with guys like Troy Kearns around. And if anybody wants to after they listen to this, turn this off, go watch a Jodie Foster film.
Go watch.
Fall in love.
Go talk to your neighbor's dog. Hang out
Talk to
with
your
him.
neighbor's dog.
Read a book.
Catcher in the Rye.
Read Catcher in the Rye.
Come on, you phonies. He says the word phony in there a lot. Catcher in the Rye.
Oh,
Holden
I haven't
Caulfield.
read it yet.
Oh, really? We had to
Yeah,
read
yeah,
it
yeah.
in school. As a
I'm going to
boy.
wait for someone else to read it and then kill me. Or
He did it
I'll
for
be on the
what?
one end of this. One way or the other.
Oh, he did his vision board wrong.
Someone's going to die because of me. He put all the pictures upside down and somebody killed him.
Yeah, his statement of desire. His God knew what was in his heart. But yeah, that's the end of the episode, dude. The landlords are unionizing. That's what this episode is called. I'm ringing the alarm bell. Everybody, look the fuck out, dude. This is not good.
Wake the fuck up.
Yeah,
dude.
wake up, Jakin.Off Nation. But Pat, where can people find you at?
You can find me at Pat McComedy on Instagram, Patty Legs on TikTok.
Wow.
Yes, Patty with T's, not D's.
Patty with T's.
And this episode comes out this upcoming Thursday if you got any shows to
I
plug.
am at the Rhino tonight.
Well, they're not going to be able to make it tonight.
No,
they're-
the Thursday night this is coming out.
Yeah.
Oh,
the upcoming Thursday.
My fault. I
Yes.
thought that you were being dumb, but it was me that was being dumb.
Thursday the 26th. You'll be doing the Rhino.
Yeah,
ignoramus.
Thursday the 26th, I'll be at the Rhino.
Sorry
What else
about
we
that.
got?
Today you'll be at the Rhino. Tonight, show the fuck up.
Yeah, be there tonight. I would say Saturday of this weekend, you could come to Riffs After Dark, but the show is canceled permanently. So that's good. I'll be
More like Rips After Dark. R.I.P.
I'll be in Gardner, Kansas, July 19th, and Lottawanna on July 25th. And
Nice.
then, yeah, we'll see what else happens
To
between
the
then
stars.
and now. Yeah, follow me on
Yeah.
stuff.
Follow Pat.
And check out KC Tenants.
Do it. For real,
legitimately,
though.
yeah.
It's a great
Legitimate. No,
organization.
yeah, that's not a joke.
They rule.
Yeah.
They rule.
Mm-hmm.
They want to keep those silver coin men away from your boys.
That's right.
They don't want the silver coin people to be able to wash your boys with the soap. So, yeah, check out KC Tenants. As always, follow this podcast at Jakin.Off.Podcast. And you can send anything at all to Jakin.Off.Podcast at gmail.com. I'll look at it at least once. That's the guarantee. So send it on over if you think I need to take a look at it. Other than that, Brett.
Everyone should unionize. If you can
Yeah.
unionize
Not-
in your workplace.
well, not everyone.
Well, cops should not unionize.
We just talked about
Yeah,
If you're
we
a
don't need
working-
like a CEO union.
Actual working class people should unionize in any capacity. If you're upset at your boss,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a union. Figure it out.
Yep. Or at the very least, don't let him put you on his little videos, if you can help it.
Shout out to all the Chapinas out there.
Shout out to the Chapinas. But that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. I love you. Bye bye.